Hello, and welcome to this, what I will go ahead and say will be the greatest episode of What Did I Miss ever put together. Yesterday, Aaron Rodgers not only impressed us, but I believe impressed the world with his decision and choice to perfectly execute the character of Cameron Poe from Con Air, played by Nicolas Cage, upon his arrival to camp. And because of that, we were inspired to then dedicate an entire episode of this podcast to Nic Cage, but not just Nic Cage. NFL quarterbacks playing Nic Cage, playing other characters. It's a recasting like you've never seen before. Gabe, word on the street is you know more about Nic Cage than you know about your own family. Is that correct?
Yes, that is probably correct. I also spent more time with Nic Cage in the past 24 hours than my family. It was me, some stuff that's legal here in California.
You're essentially Pedro Pascal
and some Nic Cage,
movie.
and I'm ready to roll.
By the way, saying legal in California doesn't narrow it down to a lot of things.
Correct.
Considering where I am. So that being said, Jerome is here because Jerome is a movie connoisseur. Paige has seen three movies in her whole life. She's worthless to us today, but we love her. It really would, but knowing that she's watching us say that brings warm feelings to my heart. I'm also going to lean on Jerome because some of these, quite frankly, were very difficult for me. I know the characters, I know what they're about, but then trying to sort of transform them into NFL, and by the way, current and or former NFL quarterbacks, not all that easy. All right, Jerome, take it away.
All right. So the first thing that we have to acknowledge here is there are a million Nic Cage movies. So for anyone who wants to come up at us at the end of this and say, like, you missed X movie, well, we're going to miss like 3,000 movies that we easily could have recasted. But we made our kind of finite pick. We're going to save our C block to allow both Michelle and Michelle and Gabe, to be able to go through what are their honorable mentions. But we're going to start off with, I think this is actually, Beads, this is the one your favorite. We're going to The Rock.
Yeah!
And Stanley Goodspeed. I've been looking up a number of different quick one-liners. He is a mild-mannered biochemist who was sent to infiltrate Alcatraz. I mean, if you're going to infiltrate Alcatraz, you're going to need a good quarterback for it.
If you're going to say it, infiltrate, then you better just start with I'm Canadian. Whoa, what is that pronunciation? God, good sweet nose. Go on.
Onward we go. Gabe, you've been spending quite a bit of time with Nic Cage. I feel like you have a pretty strong take as to where, like, who should be Stanley. Who do you have?
Most of these I did not need to do any research on.
That's insane, by the way.
Yeah, I just instantly kind of knew. So my interpretation of Stanley as a character is this is like a complete nerd. Like, no one really believed in him. Nobody really saw anything coming from him. But he gets thrust into this situation. And as soon as he gets the chance to be a star, what do you know? He is. All right? He's a dominant superstar that we now would never question.
Oh.
But here's the thing. He's actually sneaky, not even the best in his division or this movie. That's Sean Connery. The guy who's going to play Stanley is Justin Herbert.
Ooh.
Justin Herbert. I thought he was a nerd, but he's a friggin' stud.
First of all, why would you think Justin Herbert was a nerd? He looks like a surfer boy, which of course is another Nic Cage character.
Yeah, we'll get to him. He comes off like a real dork leaving Oregon, but by the end of the second year in LA, we're like, this guy is an absolute stud.
He's a top tier quarterback at this point in the league.
You're like, let him send some nukes at Alcatraz. I trust him.
Well, as Sean Connery
just doing an overhaul.
No, what was?
I'm going to do mine as Sean Connery.
All right.
Sean, when are you going to start being Sean Connery? When's that
for those who are not watching the video, this is actually Sean Connery in the studio right now, stepping in to give
May
us...
he rest, Jerome. May he rest.
Fair enough.
Yes. One of my favorite characters of all time was Stanley Goodspeed. He was a biochemist, and he was cerebral. And only one man who's been quarterback in the NFL comes to mind. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh, he went to Harvard.
Okay. Yes, he went to Harvard. He's smart. We all know he went to Harvard. But not just that. he had a side to him that had a cult following unlike anything I've ever seen in my entire life. And I feel like if there was ever going to be someone who would slip from their role in the NFL into the role of Stanley Goodspeed, where you are smart, you're a scientist, you have to adapt and then save the world, it's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. Fitz has that. The Fitz magic is sort of like that Goodspeed. You know, that side of him that comes out where he's like, I forgot his wife's name. He's like, she was the prom queen.
Yes.
You know, like Fitz had that. Yeah.
Right. God, that's good. Okay. All right. I like that.
Did you have a side casting for Sean Connery in that
Sean
case?
Connery? Yes. It's, I just blanked on his name. What is the brother's name of the coach of the Jets that we liked? Rex Ryan and...
Oh, Rob Ryan.
Rob Ryan!
Wait, now that sounds like a pirate. Never mind.
You've got it so many different directions with the Sean Connery.
I'm sorry, Sean Connery's ghost.
my
If
God.
you're anywhere listening, that was not good.
Can you just give me like a quick Finding Forrester, like You're the Man Now, dog?
Shut up,
If you don't
Jerome.
mind?
Go
Fair
on to
enough.
the next one.
This is
On to the next
Beadle doing, I think, Daryl Hammond doing Sean Connery on SNL. I don't think this is anything close.
Says
And
you.
we're just in there as like Will Ferrell, just
Yeah, you guys are just
blank
like
staring, like what?
Unfortunate bystanders. At this
All right,
point.
on to
All
the
right,
next
so-
movie.
All right.
Go.
We are looking to steal the Declaration of Independence.
Damn
We're
right.
casting in National Treasure Benjamin Franklin Gates. Beads, I'm going to start with you on this one.
So this one was a little difficult for me, mainly because I was trying to go literal, and that was not easy to do because I wanted to find a history major, because that is what this character was. National Treasure, Benjamin Franklin Gates, came from a long line of treasure hunters. His whole goal in life was, and carried down from his grandfather, was to retrieve treasures from them and then return them to their rightful owners, being the United States of America. So nobody fits that, right? So then I did the next best thing I could do. And it was weird because it's not a person that I necessarily think of often. However, I have seen his grill on my television set quite a few times in the past week or so. He was, I believe, an economics major at Baylor University. He graduated with a 3.67 GPA. Political science, excuse me. And if there's anybody qualified for that, it would be Benjamin Franklin Gates, played by Robert Griffin III.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Do you know how
Also,
hard it is to find NFL quarterbacks majors? Apparently, that's
Also,
not the
but, like,
first
with
thing people want to know.
Robert Griffin III, you have like still the same cadence of a
Yes.
Benjamin Franklin Gates.
I do
that
feel like
I
it-
really like there.
It made sense.
So you found an academic.
Yes, I
like
found
that.
an academic because honestly, nobody's playing the role of Benjamin Franklin Gates and faking being an academic. You have to be one. You have to know everything about
Right.
everything.
Right.
And that's tough.
Which Nicolas Cage does. That's
Yeah,
why
shit.
he got the
Yeah.
part.
Yeah,
So
obviously.
we're not going to find anyone better than him at this role. But
No.
I will say that our methodology is a little different. Again, let's remember I was doing this
Yeah.
while using substances that are legal in California. So I kind of was in a different headspace than you, Beadle. I
Oh, I
wasn't
can't wait.
Googling or searching for facts.
Yeah, I did
Here's-
homework, Gabe. I did real homework on this.
I didn't do that. I was thinking, you know, let's be honest. When they cast that part,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't thinking Nic Cage. Like, this was probably something they wanted Tom Cruise to do,
You think?
Oh.
or Tom Hanks. I don't know.
Or
One of the
Brendan
Toms.
Fraser.
Yeah, I
like
don't
a Brendan
think it
Fraser,
was Nic
yeah.
Cage. I think a couple of guys weren't quite able to make it work.
Okay.
And they went with him, and then what do you know? It was a perfect fit. It worked beautifully. It was just the exact right time for both of them. So I think
Oh, I see where you're going.
Matt Stafford. Nobody would have said that Matt Stafford and the Rams were going to click and be this great this fast. But it just works, man.
Right
And so
person,
even if
right
they wished
time.
it had been
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hanks or Tom Cruise or Tom Brady, it's Stafford and it works.
I can't wait to see where you put Tom Brady, if you put Tom Brady.
He's coming.
Oh, I
He's
knew.
coming.
I just almost want to guess where you put him. Okay, I like that. That's a good one. That all makes sense to
All
me.
right. If we can all just have just kind of take a deep breath, a moment of silence. Like, it's about to get really somber in here.
Yeah, seriously, bro.
We're leaving Las Vegas.
I can't do this one.
I
I cannot do this one.
we already hit an impasse. We're only 3 picks in.
Yeah.
The character of Ben Sanderson. Anyone who knows the movie, it is dark. It is. It is dark. It is a man who is drinking himself to death in Las Vegas. Now, we talked about this pre-show. Gabe, with all his infinite wisdom and influences, he's got a take.
I don't know how you did this.
I think, at risk of making light of a pretty serious situation in the movie, let's just say it was fiction. A guy who I think by the end of this season is really just going to be fed up and hate himself and hate life and, really wish that everything in his life had gone differently is Daniel Jones. And I think,
dude.
I could see him stepping into this role and relating to what am I doing here? How did this happen? This team is a mess. I'm not what I thought I was. I got nothing going here.
Wow.
That's what I think. Daniel Jones.
That's pretty good. That's actually really good.
We could make it a bit of like a happier, like maybe more just like a person who's very introspective about where their life is right now.
Yeah, he's contemplative.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I
Not
could
as
see
dark
that being,
as the movie goes.
Well, the thing is, had Baker Mayfield not gotten a job already, that was going to be mine.
100% right.
But the real life ruined my pick for casting Ben from Leaving Las Vegas. Yeah, because honestly, to try to cast it literally, I mean, look, the guy who wrote the book that the movie's based on actually killed himself in real life. So, like, the whole thing is just wrapped in sadness and depression. But the movie itself is a remarkable work of art. And so I actually like yours because I didn't know how to do it. I was taking it too literally, and it was too hard.
Yeah, well, that would be... I don't think we want to make jokes about the literal part of this movie.
No,
but
not
I
at
just
all.
think Daniel Jones is going to feel like this year has been really terrible for me.
gonna be a
I'm
tough
not
one.
feeling good about this.
He's going to want a really good vacation when it's over.
Yeah.
Not to Las Vegas.
No.
Las Vegas.
Got it.
As Michelle and I can both attest, Las Vegas,
Like, Las Vegas is good, but not for feeling better about yourself.
not at all.
Now, Brian Daboll could turn things around the way that the movie couldn't. Brian Daboll could
Ooh.
turn... Daniel Jones into what the Giants were hoping for when they used a first-round pick on him. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, let's get out of there. Let's get out of
Okay.
there as quickly as possible. We're going to be gone in 60 seconds out of there.
Yeah.
Memphis Reigns.
Sing it again, Memphis.
Beads, we'll start with you. I feel like this is a much happier note that you'll be more than enthusiastic to actually come back into.
So Memphis Reigns is a character in Gone in 60 Seconds, played magnificently, of course, by Nic Cage. He is a former car thief. Some would say the best car thief in the world. But he's in retirement until his brother Kip goes and screws it all up. Now, who is someone that we know that wasn't a perfect character by any stretch of the imagination, but he did retire, kind of, or at least he left one team. But then he wanted to come back to another team and maybe try to save it.
Yes.
Of course, in our version, it didn't work out the way it did in the movie. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you old number 4, the gunslinger, Brett Favre.
Give me Favre. I love it.
Yeah. Got him in, guys. I got him in.
Oh, that's a good one. I feel silly saying mine. It's
No,
nowhere
that's
near
my
as
only good one.
That's a good one. Brett Favre would be so good. All right, so here's one where we flipped, Beads. You went
Okay.
with kind of a feel, kind of just go for the personality type. Here's one where I did go a little bit more literal.
Ooh.
I picked someone who's got a ton of swag, who could carry the part. Looked like he was going to be sort of a franchise guy. When this movie came out, you were like, okay, I could see a few of these being a thing. But then guess what happens? The Fast series starts a year later.
That's right.
It just basically blows this thing away. It makes it irrelevant. It pushes it out of the spotlight. And the one that could have been is now scrounging.
Oh, no.
Replaced by a bigger star. So I had Baker Mayfield playing this part. I think he could play it easily. He has the swag to steal 60 cars in an hour or whatever it was.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't meant to be. And he's
That's
gone
a good
already.
one, though.
Yeah.
I like that interpretation of it, honestly. Yeah.
Well,
I like that. I never even thought about it, that was built up to be a franchise, and then Fast came along and
they
crushed it.
just were like, nope,
Not
we only
enough
need
room.
one like this.
Which is odd, because as a person who likes cars, I preferred the cars in 60 Seconds more than...
Yeah.
I'm not an American muscle car person. I like the other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a traitor to my nation, is what they would say.
Well, and then as the budgets got bigger on the fast movies,
Oh.
the cars got even better. But yeah, early on, Gone in 60 had a lot of good rides.
Oh,
It
some
did.
good stuff in there. And a good cast. Let's not forget, a great cast. Okay.
Definitely
All right.
so. Well, I mean, if anything we've learned so far in 4 picks, there's just such a range of possibility
Yeah.
because the range that is Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited to get to our next 4, but we're going to do that after this break.
Yes. As the sun comes out and small businesses are back in business, LinkedIn Jobs makes it easier to grow your team. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the people you want to interview faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Then add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile and spread the word that you're hiring so your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Beadle. That's linkedin.com/Beadle to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. We are casting, sportscasting, maybe our best sportscasting beads.
Maybe.
Maybe, we don't know yet. We're sportscasting Nic Cage movies using current and former NFL quarterbacks. Like we said off the top, a million Nic Cage movies. We tried to narrow it down.
It's impossible.
Definitely send us back your picks when we get through this podcast. But we'll get back into it right now. This might be my favorite Nic Cage character.
I know where you're going.
It's Castor Troy in Face
Listen,
Off.
say it again, Jerome. What is it?
Castor Troy.
Damn right. Great name.
Great name. Honestly, like what we've come across also so far, great character names, period, for all of like Nic Cage's characters.
Look, as somebody who's written a character name, Cooper Tucker obviously will go down as one of Hollywood's best character
Yes.
names. I am very familiar with what it takes to have the right formula to make a name work. And some of these are all-time greats. Castor
Yeah.
Troy is an all-time great name.
Burgeoning screenwriter Michelle
Mm-hmm.
Beadle approves.
Thank you.
Casting director Michelle Beadle, who do you have for Castor Troy?
So this one was difficult, just like all the others for me, because again, while we love the NFL and we love the gentlemen who have entertained us through the course of the decades past, nobody compares to Nic Cage when it comes as the ultimate entertainer. So it's already very difficult to sort of fill those shoes. That being said, Castor Troy is a villain, but the villain that you love to love. And if you're like me, more times than not, you actually cheer for the villain. Because Castor Troy is a man, he's got high intellect, he's a marksman, high pain tolerance. Some would say he might be a little bit crazy about that. He's a great leader. Now, is he leading wonderful people? No. Is he leading them? Yes. Our football team's made up of all sorts? You're damn right they are. And he's got moments of humanity in him that sort of peeks through. The pain tolerance and the injuries, that really could apply to any quarterback. But I was trying to think of someone who, over the course of the years, sort of played both the good guy and the bad guy to a lot of people. And I went back a minute, and I went to the great American city known as Chicago. And I picked Jim McMahon.
Whoa.
Because I believe he has what it takes, the looks, the vibe, the style, and the ability to make people love or hate him that a Castor Troy needs.
Wow. That was perfectly described, but not the person I ultimately thought would get the role. But that's how it is with Nic Cage movies.
That's how it is.
And then he just surprises you. And you're like, wow, he did it again.
Did it again, buddy.
Yeah, so I'm going to say some similar sort of assessments of the character, but I come to a very different conclusion. So
Okay.
let's remember the plot of this movie. This is a very, very bad guy
Very bad.
masquerading as a good guy, right? He's an evil, cheating, dangerous person
Oh, it's extortion. Settle down.
pretending to be a family guy on the right side of the law.
Yeah.
All right? And yes, I agree with you. Some people are fooled into falling in love with this guy along the way.
How dare you?
But let's just be very clear-eyed about this. He is a sociopath and a liar and a cheater deep
Uh-oh.
down. Whatever his
Oh,
face
no.
might show you, that's what he is. So guess what? It's Tom Brady. Tom Brady is playing Castor Troy. I'm not falling for it. I know who you are under there.
Sociopath. Well, we
It was
might
a
as well
matter of
stop the
time.
podcast here.
It was a matter of time
There's
before
nothing
we
better
got-
than that.
That's
Okay.
brilliant.
Wow, it turns
I
out
mean,
Castor Troy is the best character of all time.
And you know what? Tom Brady is the most talked about, memorable character in NFL history. And as much as I, as a pained Jets fan, can't stand him, you know what? A lot of people love him. So
That's
why
true.
not?
I mean,
That's true. That's
given
a good
this,
one.
I think we just have to cast Gabe as the John Travolta Sean Archer
Oh,
character
yeah.
opposite.
Yes.
At that
Travolta,
point.
as he just guts me, and I
Yeah.
have to watch him win over my family.
Right.
Oh, God,
It's like a
yes.
complete rewrite. Now we're actually just going to ask Gabe to act like Tom Brady.
Oh, God.
Oh, I love
vice
this
versa.
idea. God,
Yeah.
we should. I hope somebody will let us do that one day.
It's
Okay.
just going to cut to
Castor,
scenes of
I
Tom
knew
Brady.
Castor Troy was going to be good, but I didn't know it was going to be that good.
That's
man.
brilliant.
It's the best.
All right, this one I think is going to be a little fun
It's
because
hard.
it's two Nic Cage characters
Yeah.
played.
Yeah.
It's the movie adaptation. Shout out Gabe for reminding us of this.
So many awards, right? Didn't this one win
Yeah.
all the awards?
Brilliant movie.
Yeah.
Amazing movie. Directed by Spike Jonze, starring Nic Cage as both Charlie and Donald Kaufman, identical twin brothers. How are we casting this?
I mean, Gabe, this one's tough.
So I got help on this one.
Oh,
Okay.
Because I was texting with a friend about what we were doing, and he's more of a dork than any of us. And so he made this suggestion. I told him how much I love the movie adaptation. He might love it even more. So he said, hey, it's all about a sort of a split personality. It's like two versions of the same guy. So go with someone who's kind of streaky and inconsistent. There's first half guy, then there's the second half. They don't seem like the same person. Also, I would say, as I recall in the plot, the writers don't have a lot of discipline. It's hard to get them to sit down and do the job of writing the book. They're struggling with that.
Okay.
And so what we've learned is these are traits that Kyler Murray has as well. Kyler Murray is kind of one thing in the first half, another in the second. I can't get him to sit down and focus on the independent study that he needs to do. I think he'd evolve into this role very nicely.
Wait a minute. I have a stupid question. Isn't it two people?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
So
good. Phew. No,
But-
because
but
halfway
he
through your
has to-
explanation, I thought, oh my God, did I not get the movie?
He has to inhabit two different mindsets. Though.
Gotcha.
They're very
Yes.
different twins. So I think Kyler could convincingly be two opposite types of people.
So look, there are only so many realistic people that I could have filled this role with. And the one is so obvious that I almost feel bad even saying it out loud, but it's twin brothers. They have very different personalities. Donald, more of a freeloader, carefree, sort of is able to go into social situations and dominate and be comfortable. Charlie is the one that's anxiety ridden, would prefer Donald take
Self-loathing.
over all that
Yeah.
stuff. I went with Peyton and Eli.
Oh!
Yeah.
That's the one
I
that
think,
crossed my mind too. Yeah.
it's easy. They're already brothers, so we don't need to.
That's
not
nice.
a stretch, right? They're not twins, but close enough. And I just think, for me, Eli is the more anxious, kind of socially awkward of the two. And I think it fits. It fits for
I
me.
think it fits perfectly. I think.
Thank you.
I think that casting might actually make this the most watchable movie of the
Yeah.
Oh,
bunch
for sure.
by far. Yeah.
No, I
I'd
would watch
I'd really like to see that remade with the two of them.
Well, I wouldn't
Yes.
be surprised if
Legitimately. All
they
these
weren't.
others are silly. That one I think could really work.
Well, they're probably doing it because they've got 700 projects going on at the same time. So, for all we know, it's in production.
That'll just be on during Monday Night Football
Just
week
randomly.
4.
I'm very much looking forward to seeing Beads' credit name at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I got to put PGA after it, right? Isn't that what the casting people have?
Yeah,
P.G.A. Yep.
Yeah, Producers Guild. That's you.
That's me. PGA.
All right, we're going back to an oldie, Raising Arizona, the character of H.I. McDonough. A real carefree character, I would say, like a goofy character, ex-convict. The goal is that they're going to kidnap and raise a child. Definitely all the qualities an NFL scout looks for. I'm really curious where we're all going with this one. Gabe, we'll start with you.
Good luck.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the plot. I just remember this like totally dominant personality, scrambling all over the place, just nothing but like unhinged YOLO energy that works. And maybe like at the end of the day, maybe like the all-time great for this guy. And we could be looking at an all-time great if he can contain himself in Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen could play this role.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So
Because
it's
he sort of
all
has
about
that-
like a career Nic Cage sense. Like this is the potential of something bigger.
Just go for it. Like the
Right.
YOLO of like, I don't know, man. I'm just going to run and throw and see what
That's a
happens. I
good
think that's
I
what
like
that
that.
role takes.
I like that. Yes, because H.I. McDonough again, Nic Cage has a knack for playing criminals that you love. In this particular case, he's a career criminal, but not on the level of like a murderer, just sort of an idiot, like that just has done criminal things his whole life. It's a Coen Brothers production, so you automatically know it's quirky and eccentric. Holly Hunter plays the ex-cop. They fall in love during a mugshot photo taking situation, yada yada. Now I've changed a little bit because in this version, it's sort of bad guy swoops in, falls in love with good girl. They decide to hatch this ridiculous plot. What I've done is I've taken a good guy, swoops in for the good girl, and together they kidnap a child from a bad guy.
Okay.
Russell Wilson
Ah.
and Sierra. And they took a
Okay.
baby from Future, and they made that baby their baby. And according to the interweb, Future goes on the badder guy side. So
Right,
I'm doing that. Look, there's no world in which I could cast Russell Wilson as a criminal anything. Who are we kidding? Maybe some of his outfits have been a fashion faux pas, but that's about it. But for me, I was just like, all right, I took it literally on the stealing of the baby.
Sure.
Well, in your
And that's where I'm
defense,
going with this
Beads,
one.
Like
Yeah.
remakes tend to be like real reimagining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
You have to interpret
something that
it how you
fits within
want.
the context of like this society, the way we live in right now. So like I am very much in for your version of Raising Future.
Thank you. Thank you.
I also would say that Russell in his prime had all the same qualities that Josh Allen did. The yup nope guy.
absolutely.
Where you'd be like,
Mm.
don't do it.
like that's how he played. So that could work.
That's fair. Yeah, you're right. God, it's hard to remember that, but yes.
I love both picks. The only thing, just based on like pure wardrobe and look, and based on like some amazing wardrobe choices this season, I would just love to see Joe Burrow in all the outfits.
Yes. I would. I mean, yeah, if you have Raising Arizona's, it's been a minute, but it's a good one to go watch. Even just getting ready for today, I sort of watched a couple of clips and I was like, I probably need to rewatch that movie again soon. I think it still works.
I did think to myself, Joe Burrow is like mankind's opposite of Nic Cage. Like I was trying to think of a way to talk about Joe Burrow, and I was
Right.
like, they're literally the opposite kind of person. Everything we love about Nic Cage is the opposite of the reasons we love Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's
Interesting.
totally cool, contained, never spikes in emotion, just like
Oh, I see.
very consistent dude,
And Nic Cage
I
is
think
like
what you could do
crazy.
is
all
like-
over the place.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow can play essentially the first 10 minutes of every Nic Cage movie.
Yes, until he loses his mind, and then it's
Yeah.
like
Before
it's
he
game
becomes
over.
Until the movie gets good, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yep.
And finally, I mean, we're talking about all these different characters that Nic Cage can play, but who can play Nic Cage in the unbearable weight of massive talent?
This one's tough because it's the most. Well, it's not his most. It's the most recent we know of. I know there's more coming out, but
Right.
this movie's just out not that long ago. Nic Cage playing the part of Nick with a K, Cage in the movie, basically himself, a very wealthy man who's a super fan, pays for his company, yada yada, turns into fun. CIA's involved and whatnot. So basically, it's the story of a man who is forced now to live up to his very own legend. And I hate to do this to Gabe, but there is only one current man in the NFL who is on a daily basis not competing with anyone else, but competing with the very legend he's already set out for himself. And that man is Thomas Bartholomew Brady. I know. Trust me, I don't like to use words like legend and Tom Brady all at the same time. It hurts my heart. But I didn't have a choice here. There was only one person.
It's also one of those opportunities because a lot of the point of Unbearable Weight is to unpack the lore that is Nic Cage. So this might just be our opportunity to get behind the face of a sociopath in Tom Brady.
Exactly.
I'm not comfortable
It's great
with
casting.
this.
Nor should you be.
Yeah.
Nor should you be.
You know why I'm not comfortable with it? Because not just because I have issues with Tom Brady, but
Sure.
because I don't actually think it's right for the role. I think that the layering of the role requires somebody who, at least in his mind, is more complex.
Oh, dear.
So I think a similar talent, but I think this whole thing started because of a guy who showed up dressed as Cameron Poe. But what if really he was dressed as Nic Cage, playing Cameron Poe? He's doing a 4-dimensional chess just to mess with us and gaslight us. And the whole time he really was playing the part in Unspeakable Talent. It's Aaron Rodgers.
That's a very Andy Kaufman, Kaiser Soze, who is what, where's what's happening situation. I like it.
You really have proven a lot of things are legal in Los Angeles.
Actually, thank you. You're so right, Jerome, because I texted that to a friend and I said, I might be stoned, but
Nah, dude, it works. I'm getting
No,
it.
this is perfect.
I am not stoned, and that made total sense to me.
That makes total sense.
full circle.
Yeah, full circle.
I mean,
and if there was anyone to pull it off, it's that guy.
It's that guy right there. I mean, it's such a perfect full circle moment because that completes at least our list of Nic Cage movies. We're going to take another break.
Okay.
When we come back in our C block, we're going to see if there's anything in your mind that you want to cast. We are back. We have casted 8 different Nic Cage characters in movies with current and former NFL quarterbacks. There are a million others that we could be doing, ones that we had to cut off pre-production. Michelle, Gabe, do you have any outliers that you want to bring into the fold?
Well, I mean, look, I can't even cast it because my favorite Nic Cage movie is Moonstruck. But for me, one of the originals and an iconic American film that started so many careers and was a glimpse into the future of a lot of big Hollywood names today would be Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Everyone in that movie played an idiot because it is a Valley Girl sort of 80s dumb look into the high school social hierarchy. So for that, I actually had Justin Herbert. But then I thought to myself, nay. Because as a casting director in Hollywood, as I now fancy myself, I need to always take into consideration as well the aesthetic that we are going for. And for this particular moment in this movie, there was a real surfer dude vibe. I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence.
He'd fit right in.
I mean, the
That's
hair's
great.
perfect. We need no
That's perfect.
makeup. He just walks
Love
right
it.
in from the street.
Put him in the fast food gear.
Yep. Go. Work.
I also had a Fast Times ad. I'm going to go with a different quarterback, though, and tell me if you buy that. I love Trevor Lawrence for that
That's a
role.
great
I think
pick.
he'd be terrific.
For that
We might even want to give him a bigger job. He could have been, what's his name?
he could be Spicoli. He could be Spicoli
thank you.
easily, yeah.
He might be that good. Okay, so Nic Cage's part is very small. As we all
Very.
know, it was just a favor to his uncle. But it got him started.
Wait, was he
And-
still using Coppola before? In that no,
Ooh,
Valley
I don't
Girl.
know.
Valley Girl. He still
No.
had Coppola, I believe, and then I think
Right.
maybe he switched. Okay, fair.
Well, in it, though, they want us to believe that he's like a 20-year-old fry chef, right? Working
he?
behind Brad. They want us to think he's young, but he's obviously just like a stoned nobody, and he's basically irrelevant in the movie. So I'm going to say he's Mac Jones. He's just there. It doesn't matter.
That is
And he's,
so
by the way,
hurtful.
I'm not believing that he's 21 years old. Like, that guy's 35.
Wow. First of all, Nic Cage has looked 35 since he was 7. That's
Yeah.
actually science.
He
That's
got
not
to
his fault.
he looked 35 all the way to 35 and ever since.
Yeah, he's looked the same since day one. Okay, that's rude to Mac
That's
Jones.
good.
Okay,
I
fair
mean,
enough.
just because we're talking Fast Times and you mentioned that, I think I want Mac Jones in the Judge Reinhold role.
Ooh, that's a good role. That whole
think he
thing
can
is
do
good.
it.
I don't know that he can handle it, but just like on the kind of vibe, I guess.
Does he have
is
the
where I am.
range? We don't know.
Also, I think we just like casted a blockbuster Super Bowl commercial that is a
Right?
parody of Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
We are living in 80s nostalgia right now. So cash it in, and you're welcome. And we also want a cut of that. All these great ideas we've had here. Gabe, do you have...
Yeah.
Okay, only because I cheated and I looked, but like Matchstick Men? Which one is that?
Matchsticks Men?
Yeah, Matchstick Men.
Stickman, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matchsticks Men.
No,
Yeah,
no,
but
there's
what is
no.
it?
It's not Matchsticks, I don't think.
It's not?
Yeah, it is.
How many
No,
matchsticks is it?
We're saying the same thing. Matchsticks Men.
No, you're not saying the same thing.
No, you're saying Matchsticks Men. It's Match.
Yes,
Stick
exactly.
Men.
Well, right. That was the movie where he like it's him and his daughter. I don't really remember the plot.
Oh,
Yeah, Sam Rockwell's in it. They're con men.
yes.
They're con
Yes.
men. Yeah,
It's a great movie.
They're conning
Got it.
Matchsticks Men. See it,
Okay.
everyone.
That's
I don't really have any perfect person for the con man sort of
Right.
role, but Ryan Tannehill. Is he for real? Like, and he's got an understudy that people want to replace him with.
I could see that.
I'm not sure. I don't want to call him a con man. He's been around in the league for a long time, but I think he's kind of been faking us out for a while.
All right.
Well, then where are we going to put Chase Daniel?
Matchsticks Men's an underrated movie.
It's a great
Chase
movie.
Daniel
yeah.
probably has a role in that too because he's pulled off the ultimate
Chase
con.
Daniel. What
the
a
ultimate con.
legend.
What a hero. I have one for the Family Man. Family
Okay.
Man, if you haven't seen it, was pretty good. Nic Cage married a Leone, just a good old-fashioned American family. Wakes up one day, he's living his other dream life, the one where he's a rich single dude living in Manhattan with no worries, no cares, just sexy, sexy, sexy. And so for that, I'm also going to take a page from the past. I'm going to go with a man who is definitely a family man, but probably has had maybe one or two thoughts about what could have been. Philip Rivers.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's thought about it.
He's definitely thought about
Can't
it.
have that many kids and not wonder what it would have been like.
He's like literally the family man.
Honestly, even
Yeah.
currently, I think like this is also another opportunity for Russell Wilson to get in the mix,
Ooh,
just to give
yeah.
him his alternate reality.
He's got a diversity to him, Russell Wilson. He could play a lot of different roles in the Nic Cage universe.
Yeah,
So there you go.
I like that.
I think we nailed this.
I
think
got
we
one
did
more
this.
here.
Oh,
Troy,
yeah.
I need your help. Is there any particularly absurd, like in this 10-year run here, where like everything he makes is straight to DVD or
Oh, yeah, it's
streaming
bad.
or whatever? Is
The
there
one with
any
the
really...
skeleton firehead that he throws off the motorcycle. What's that one?
No, that's Ghost Rider. That
Ghost
one's
Rider.
dope.
There's that.
No.
A Wicker Man.
Ooh.
That's
I'm talking even worse. Like never
worse
saw a
than that.
movie screen, made in the last few years.
oh
Well, we had that
Well,
really
it doesn't
good one
matter.
last year.
right. Any one of
Whichever
those.
one it is, those.
How about we call this, Gabe? Straight to DVD, Nic Cage.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, he was in a real rut, and I would say for all of those roles,
Mm-hmm.
let's just make Carson Wentz that.
Wow. Why is Carson Wentz taking an L right here?
He's taking L's, dude.
Good
I'm tired
Lord.
of Carson Wentz.
What just happened?
Paige actually is offering us this fun fact. In the 2010s, Nic Cage did 29 direct-to-video movies.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's just plug Carson Wentz into all of those.
Do you know how
Shout out
much debt Nic Cage has been in?
Cash
He owes
Them
money
Checks,
to everybody.
Carson Wentz and Nic
Like,
Cage.
didn't he buy some artifact, some ridiculous, like 80 million year old artifact, and then the government of like Mongolia went and tracked him down? They're like, you got to give that back to us. Like, the dude is living a life in real life that very much could be one of his movies. It's kind of
It's
insane
National Treasure.
to me. Yeah, and also I would like to say, because for all those straight to DVDs that he did in that really long stretch of time, the movie Pig that came out either last year or the year before, Chef's Kiss, was perfect, and I loved it so much. Played
That
by
was
Charlie
on our
Whitehurst.
list. I just don't know how we could possibly casted that.
No, Charlie Whitehurst. That was it.
Oh, Charlie, there you go. Thank you. Yes.
Charlie Whitehurst
yeah,
getting a role.
got the hair. The hair's already in there.
Wow.
These are the things that live in my brain, Gabe. I can't do anything about it.
I did not see him getting brought up.
Neither did he.
I have no
Sometime.
explanation. This is actually for one of the movies we had, but for whatever reason, National Treasure, I wanted to cast Johnny Unitas.
Oh my God. Well, he is an American hero, much like
Just like throw that all
Benjamin
together.
Gates. Dude, I love doing these, you guys. So much
was
fun.
Great fun.
All right, wait, I'm going to tell everybody if you disagree or as we're going to definitely hear, we forgot this one. We didn't forget it. We just didn't have time. But reach out, 631-397-0403. Let us know about what you think and who should play Nic Cage in any one of his beautiful movies. Guys, it's been real. Gabe, Jerome, peace out.